Hey, for Heart Shape Booty, at day 21, we're starting with a routine number 1 for your little mini glute focus workouts. Today's workout is going to be all standing workouts, exercises, and what we're doing is putting together a few exercises that hit all of the categories that we should be hitting. That is your hinge pull, your squat lunge, your glute, your bridge or thrust, and some sort of an abduction exercise, and then your miscellaneous. So we're pulling from at least 2 or 3 of those categories for each mini workout. Today is all standing. The optional equipment that you may want is a exercise ball or a booty band or some weights. If you have kettlebells, great. So any of those combinations or one of them is great. So standing, we're going to start with a warm-up. We're going to do the Jeff Cavalier warm-up. So I'm going to start the timer now, and what you're going to hear is 15 seconds of a lead-in, so 15 seconds off, and then 45 seconds on. And that way, we're just basically counting 1 minute rounds, and then each 15 seconds within those 1 minute will be your transition. Okay, so I'm doing this cold. I haven't even changed. I haven't done any warm up, so I'm doing it right along with you. Then your option will be, after we do the 3 sets of exercises, that you would just repeat those 2 more times for a total of 3 rounds. So if you do a 2-minute warm up and a 2-minute stretch, you would basically set your timer for 16 minutes from start to finish. All right, so here we go. So your lead-in time is basically your transition time. Okay, so the first exercise or the warm-up drill we're going to do is the Jeff Cavalier hip mobility drill. So that's where we're going to step out to one side and bend down into a nice open squat position. Pretend we're going under a bar here. Then pivot that back leg so we end up in a front lunge position. Raise the arm and bend to your bent leg side. Okay, then come to center, and then we'll shift the weight straight across. Pivot again, raise the arm, and stretch. And repeat, and just keep going. And when we hit that 1 minute mark, then we could take a pause, reset if we need to, give ourselves a reprieve. This one is or just keep going. This one is a very active, actual warm-up drill. Now remember, keep these knees open wide in the center, shift across, okay? Straight body line, shifting across, raise, and pivot, okay? Keep those knees open, and then with the lunge position, keep those knees out, all right? So that at no point are your knees coming inward, okay? Shift across and stretch to the opposite side. Shift across. So we're getting into our psoas here. All right, so we're going to get into our first exercise, which is the standing glute med exercise with your opposite knee up. So you're standing close to the wall. We're going to work the leg that's outside of the wall, and we're going to shift that knee towards the wall by squeezing through the glute med, okay? And come back, and it's all glute med work. This bent leg does nothing, okay? It's just going to shift towards the wall because you're squeezing through the glute med. Now, to make this harder, you would push into the stability ball, okay? And you should feel like double that contraction, all right? So you're trying to get as close to that wall as possible. Absolute burn for your glute med, okay? So if you want to try it with the ball, that's an excellent choice, okay? the leg closer to the wall. Now we're working the opposite, the standing leg, okay? The wall, the leg that's further away from the wall, okay? If you need to touch down for support, it's fine. And if you need to shift, that's fine. Remember, I'm only going to show one round here for just because of my time limitation, but ideally you would do the entire set of what I'm showing you. You would repeat the entire sequence 2 more times for a total of 3. That's an absolute blooper. You could hold on to your glute knee here to verify that it's working. Well, you should definitely feel it. All right, so we're transitioning into exercise number 2. That's the stagger stance suitcase deadlift. You could do this with or without weights. I'll show you without the weights first. One leg comes back. You're on the toes. The front leg is the one we're working. We're going to hinge instead of a squat. So you're going to hinge back and you're going to reach down and you'll feel that stretch on the standing leg in the front. Come up and extend all the way through. So you'll squeeze both glutes. Okay, keep this leg as straight as possible in the front and repeat. Okay. Now you could put a band underneath that to stretch. If you're going to use your kettlebell, you want to basically have the opposite arm fire through the lats. Keep your arms straight. Okay. Now, as you switch, remember it's the front leg that's doing the work, but you should be working, squeezing through both glutes as you come up. I'll show you without the weights first. Hinge back, keep a slight bend to this knee, but don't squat down, okay? So you make it more of a deadlift. Come straight up, squeeze through both glutes, okay? And then if you're gonna use the weights, have it on the instep, and you're going to straight arm. Okay, so squeeze through both sides. Push the hips back. Getting that stretch on the hip is what makes this so effective. Again, if you're feeling it with no weights, that's fine. Okay, I love this actually with the band as well. The second or the third final exercise is a front lunge. So if you have bad knees, you are welcome to do the reverse lunge. What I'm going to do is alternate once and then have to turn around for time. So you'll take a nice big step, have a little bit of a lean forward. As you come into the lunge, have your knees go close, okay? Come back and or step forward so that you could do an alternate stance. So here, get close down, see a nice lunge, and you want to basically try to track straight forward. If you want to use a weight, okay, you could do that as well. So since we're alternating, basically I'm going to do 2 rounds of this one, opposite of the stepping leg, okay? So come down, try to keep that knee tracking outward, okay? And show you one more time. So you could just have the weights in the same hand for each alternating. Okay, so get fairly close, go ahead and lean forward. That will shift your weight to your glutes. All right, so those are the 3 exercises for today that we did all standing. Then the stretch, which again, the stretch you can always do as long as you want. I just recommend that you hold it for a minimum 30 seconds per stretch or per hold, and then try to do a minimum of a 2-minute static stretch hold. Okay, so the stretch, this is One of the ones that I showed you right in the beginning, one of my favorite is the wall glute cross stretch. So you want to get fairly close to the wall, okay? And you can play around with that distance, but fairly close. So you're closer than a 90-90 stance. Okay, from here, you'll go ahead and shift up just so that you could first cross that one leg over. So it's one stretch at a time, one side at a time, and then bring it down and you'll get a nice intense stretch all through here. And this leg cross could also be played with, okay? So to do the other side, you cross over and hold it for 30 seconds minimum. If you could get to a minute, all right? So you can see that just doing one round at 15-second rest, it went super fast. You know, you really weren't going for a whole bunch of reps on this one or in this way. So it's a really great way to try to chunk in a small workout that you could throw in as either a standalone or as a burnout at the end. So give it a go. The next one will be coming right up. So we'll have several routines for you to work in the future.